Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and wondered where all your energy went? Maybe you feel a little stiffer, a bit more tired, or just not quite yourself, even after a full night's sleep. It's a quiet thought that creeps in, isn't it? That nagging feeling that maybe this is just what getting older looks like. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? What if the secret to waking up every morning with the kind of energy that makes you feel alive, vibrant, and ready to take on the day is closer than you think? And what if the foods you're eating every single day, thinking they're harmless or even healthy, are silently stealing that energy from you? Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know your age and where you're watching from. We're reading and responding to every single comment, so don't be shy, share with us. Hello, I'm Dr. Hayato Shimizu, a physician specializing in care for older adults with over 20 years of experience. I've spent my career helping people just like you rediscover their vitality. But what shakes me to my core is seeing so many people slowly getting sicker, believing they're doing everything right. It's heartbreaking, because so often, the choices we make every day, especially around food, are quietly accelerating aging, sapping energy, fueling inflammation, and even setting the stage for chronic diseases we don't see coming. But here's the good news. You're not powerless. You're not too old to change. You're just learning what your body truly needs after 60, and I'm here to walk you through it. Let me take you back to a patient I met a few years ago, Margaret, a 68-year-old retired teacher with a laugh that could light up a room. Margaret came to me because she was exhausted all the time. She'd wake up feeling like she hadn't slept, her joints ached, and by noon, she was already dreaming of a nap. She told me, "Dr. Shimizu, I eat healthy. I have my toast with margarine for breakfast, a sandwich with deli meat for lunch, and I always make sure to have a low-fat yogurt for dessert. What am I doing wrong?" I could see the frustration in her eyes, the same look I've seen in so many patients who feel betrayed by their own efforts, and it's exactly there that the problem hides. You see, Margaret's story isn't unique. So many of us have been taught that certain foods are healthy, that they're the right choices. But what most people don't know is that some of these everyday foods, the ones we've been eating for years, might be working against us. Take something as simple as that morning toast with margarine. It seems innocent, doesn't it? A slice of whole grain bread, a spread of what we've been told is a heart-healthy alternative to butter. But let's pull back the curtain. Many margarines are loaded with trans fats or highly processed vegetable oils, like soybean or canola oil, which can trigger inflammation in the body. A 2021 study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that diets high in these processed oils were linked to higher levels of inflammatory markers, which over time can wear down your joints, your heart, and even your energy reserves. And that whole grain bread? While it sounds wholesome, many store-bought versions are packed with added sugars and preservatives that spike your blood sugar and leave you crashing by mid-morning. Now, I'm not saying you need to throw out your bread or swear off toast forever. It's not about cutting everything out, but about understanding what your body needs now. After 60, your body is different. It's not about deprivation, it's about nourishment. Think of your body like a classic car. It's beautiful, it's got stories to tell, but it needs the right fuel to keep running smoothly. Feed it the wrong stuff, and it starts to sputter. Feed it the right stuff, and it hums along, ready for the open road. Let's talk about another food that sneaks into so many diets. Processed deli meats. You know, the turkey slices in your sandwich, the ham you add to your salad. They're convenient, they're low-fat, they seem like a smart choice. But here's where the danger lies. Most deli meats are packed with sodium, nitrates, and preservatives that can put stress on your heart and kidneys. A 2023 study from the Mayo Clinic showed that high consumption of processed meats was associated with a 15% increased risk of heart disease in adults over 60. Margaret, my patient, was eating these every day, thinking she was making a healthy choice, but those sandwiches were quietly raising her blood pressure and making her feel sluggish. I sat down with Margaret, and we looked at her diet together, like detectives piecing together a puzzle. We didn't just focus on what to take away, but what to add. I suggested swapping her deli meats for fresh, lean proteins like grilled chicken or baked salmon. These foods aren't just lower in sodium. They were rich in nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids that help fight inflammation and keep your energy steady. And instead of margarine, we talked about using a small amount of olive oil or avocado, which are full of healthy fats that support your brain and heart. It wasn't about overhauling her life overnight. It was about small, intentional choices that made her feel better, day by day. Let's pause for a moment and think about your own day. Picture your breakfast, your lunch, maybe that snack you grab in the afternoon. Are there foods you're eating because you've always eaten them? Because someone somewhere told you they were healthy? I want you to feel curious, not guilty. This isn't about blame, it's about discovery. What most people don't realize is that the foods we eat can either be medicine or poison, and after 60, that difference becomes even clearer. Your body is still capable of incredible things, healing, rebuilding, thriving, but it needs the right tools. Another patient, Robert, a 72-year-old grandfather, came to me with a similar story. He loved his sugary breakfast cereals, the kind marketed as heart-healthy, with big, bold claims on the box. But every morning, he'd feel a burst of energy followed by a crash that left him foggy and irritable. When we dug deeper, we found that his cereal was loaded with refined sugars, which were spiking his blood sugar and causing inflammation in his body. A 2022 study from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that high-sugar diets can accelerate cellular aging by damaging telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA that keep your cells youthful. Robert didn't need to give up breakfast. He just needed a better one. We switched him to oatmeal with fresh berries and a sprinkle of nuts, a combination that keeps blood sugar stable and provides antioxidants to protect his cells. What I love about stories like Margaret H.'s and Robert E.'s is that they show it's never too late. You're not too old to change. You're just learning what really works for your body now. And the beautiful thing is, these changes don't have to feel like a sacrifice. It's about rediscovering the joy of feeling good, of waking up with energy, of moving through your day with a sense of purpose. Imagine what it would feel like to get out of bed and feel ready for whatever the day brings, whether it's playing with your grandkids, tending to your garden, or just enjoying a walk without feeling worn out. As we continue this journey, we're going to peel back more layers, look at other foods that might be holding you back, and uncover the simple, delicious choices that can bring your energy back. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress, about making choices that honor the incredible person you are and the life you want to live. So stick with me, because we're just getting started. Welcome back to our journey. If you're still with me, you're already taking a step toward understanding how to reclaim the energy and vitality you deserve. We've been talking about how the foods we eat every day, sometimes without a second thought, can either lift us up or hold us back. And what most people don't realize is that the choices we make at the table are like votes for how we want to feel tomorrow, next week, and even years from now. Let's keep exploring, because there is so much more to uncover about what's quietly draining your energy and what can bring it back. Think about your afternoon for a moment. Maybe you reach for a snack to tide you over until dinner, a bag of chips, a couple of cookies, or maybe one of those healthy granola bars. It feels like a small thing, doesn't it? Just a quick bite to keep you going. But here's where the trouble sneaks in. Many of these snacks are loaded with hidden sugars and refined carbohydrates that send your blood sugar on a roller coaster. You get a quick burst of energy, and then, an hour later, you're crashing, feeling foggy, or even a little achy. I saw this with a patient named Clara, a 65-year-old who loved her afternoon ritual of tea and cookies. She'd sit down with her favorite oatmeal raisin cookies, thinking they were a wholesome choice. But when we looked closer, those cookies had as much sugar as a candy bar, and they were leaving her tired and irritable by evening. What most people don't know is that sugar, especially the kind hiding in processed snacks, doesn't just affect your waistline. It's a silent driver of inflammation, and inflammation is like a slow-burning fire in your body. It wears down your joints, your heart, even your brain. A 2024 study from the University of California found that diets high in added sugars were linked to a 20% higher risk of cognitive decline in adults over 60. That is not just about forgetting where you parked your car. It's about losing the sharpness that lets you enjoy life fully. Clara didn't need to give up her afternoon ritual. We just found a better way to enjoy it. She switched to a handful of almonds and a piece of dark chocolate, at least 70% cocoa. The nuts gave her steady energy, and the chocolate satisfied her sweet tooth without the sugar spike. Small changes, big difference. Now, let's talk about something else that shows up on so many plates: refined grains. Think white rice, white pasta, or even those low-fat crackers you might pair with cheese. These foods break down quickly in your body, acting almost like sugar. They give you a quick hit of energy, but they don't stick around to keep you going. And over time, they can stress your body's ability to manage blood sugar, which is especially important after 60. A 2023 study from Johns Hopkins showed that replacing refined grains with whole grains, like quinoa or brown rice, lowered the risk of type 2 diabetes by 15% in older adults. I had a patient, George, who loved his spaghetti dinners. He was 70 and thought his tiredness was just part of aging. But when we swapped his white pasta for a smaller portion of whole grain pasta mixed with colorful vegetables and olive oil, he started feeling more energized and even slept better. It's not about giving up the foods you love, it's about finding versions that love you back. There's another piece to this puzzle that often goes unnoticed: dairy. Now, dairy can be a great source of calcium and protein, but for some people, especially as we age, it can cause problems. Many of us lose the ability to digest lactose properly, which can lead to bloating, fatigue, or even low-grade inflammation. I remember a patient, Susan, who was 67 and swore by her daily glass of milk. She'd been drinking it since she was a kid, so it never occurred to her that it might be making her feel sluggish. We tried cutting back on dairy for a couple of weeks, replacing it with unsweetened almond milk fortified with calcium. Susan came back amazed, saying she hadn't realized how much her stomach discomfort was dragging her down. If dairy works for you, that's great. But if you're feeling off, it might be worth experimenting to see if cutting back makes a difference. What I want you to take away from these stories is that you have more control than you think. Your body is still listening to the choices you make. It's like tending a garden. You can't just plant seeds and walk away. You need to water them, pull the weeds, give them sunlight. The foods you eat are like that sunlight and water. They can nourish you or choke out your energy. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start small. Maybe it's swapping your morning cereal for a bowl of Greek yogurt with fresh fruit, or replacing that soda with a glass of water infused with lemon and mint. These aren't punishments, they're gifts to yourself. Let's talk about one more food that might be slipping under the radar. Fried foods. Those crispy fries. That fried chicken you treat yourself to now and then. They're delicious, no question. But fried foods are often cooked in oils that, when heated, produce compounds that can trigger inflammation and oxidative stress in your body. A 2022 study from the American Heart Association found that frequent consumption of fried foods was linked to a higher risk of heart disease and fatigue in older adults. Now, I'm not saying you can never have fries again. It's about balance. Try oven baking sweet potato fries with a drizzle of olive oil instead. You get the crunch, the flavor, and a dose of nutrients like vitamin A that support your immune system. As we wrap up this journey, I want you to feel empowered. You're not too old to change. You're not stuck. You're just learning what your body needs to thrive at this stage of life. Every bite you take is a chance to vote for more energy, more clarity, more moments that make you feel alive. Picture yourself waking up tomorrow morning, feeling a little lighter, a little clearer, ready to embrace the day. That's not a dream. It's possible. It starts with small conscious choices, like choosing foods that fuel you instead of draining you. I've seen it time and time again in my patients. People like Margaret, Robert, Clara, George, and Susan, who thought they were doing everything right but were missing a few key pieces of the puzzle. They didn't need to become someone else. They just needed to make choices that honored who they are now. And you can do the same. You deserve to feel vibrant, to move through your days with purpose, to wake up each morning knowing you're giving your body what it needs to shine. So here's my invitation to you. Take one small step today. Maybe it's swapping one processed snack for something whole and nourishing. Maybe it's adding a handful of colorful vegetables to your plate. Whatever it is, commit to it. And then come back and tell us about it. Drop a comment below and share your biggest health challenge right now. It might just inspire our next video. Your story matters, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Let's keep this journey going together.